Hello, Kenny Harper here, and I'm joined by Manny Torres, fellow rockstar professional. And if you're tuning in, what you're going to get today is we're going to talk about some strategies that you can use to increase the engagement that you have with prospects, which ultimately turns them into clients. Then also how to increase the lifetime value of a customer. Now, both of these are important. If you're in business, if you're an entrepreneur, then you need to know these things. You need to try different strategies to increase the likelihood of winning and attracting business. And also, it's not when you win business that's the end of the road. That's just when the relationship begins. So how you can increase engagement in customer lifelong retention. So all that stuff is important. And welcome, Manny Torres. Thanks for joining me this morning.
Thanks, Kenny. Good to be here.
Awesome. And we're actually looking at some case studies and some strategies from GKIC. Now, if you're not familiar with GKIC, the godfather of direct response marketing, Dan Kennedy, he's actually came out and shared a lot of his strategies, proven approaches. These are not just somebody said it on Facebook so it works. These are actually campaigns and strategies that real businesses have used, right? And they've used and they've actually gotten results. So I'm not going to share these things with you just by saying, hey, these things are going to be fun and dandy. They're the latest fad. But these are tested, proven exercises and actions that you can take right now, today, and start increasing what you see going on in your business. So, Manny, when did you first hear about GKIC?
It's been a few years now. You know, it's funny. I've been to the library looking at marketing books like most people that, love marketing like I do. And I was looking through the different shelves and I came across these books, these no BS books, and they stand out because they don't look like anything else there. And as someone that has a background in graphic design, they kind of were an eyesore for me because they look so crazy and they weren't elegantly designed. But I saw a lot of these no BS books and I was curious who this guy, Dan Kennedy, was. And then a little bit after that time, we ran into him in Charleston for the Authority Marketing Conference. And that was my first real exposure to Dan. And he created a paradigm shift in my mind at that point.
It is. So Dan Kennedy exposed. Now, one thing I really like, I see Jay Owen chiming in. Hey, Rockstar Professional Jay Owen, who is also going to be a fellow speaker at Social Media Jacks. If you haven't heard about Social Media Jacks, you can go to hashtag SMDayJacks. That's hashtag SMDayJacks and learn more about Social Media Day. It's a lot of great speakers from the Jacksonville. Mashable put on Social Media Day. But getting back to topic, right? So we're talking about no BS, and one of the things I really like about GKIC, it's they cut out the fluff. They're not giving you the latest little fun, cutesy things to do that may look nice or be popular or get a lot of likes and a lot of followers, but not a lot of bottom line. This is all about getting real results. It's no BS, and it's getting right down to it. So speaking of that, Manny, what do you think? We should get down to it?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So right now what we're getting ready to talk to you about is sending a newsletter to your customers. So sending a newsletter. Oh, let me tell you this. I'm not talking about sending an email newsletter. Oh, if you're not doing that, you're dropping the ball already. Because you should be staying in touch with your customers. Email newsletters, e-blasts, very important tool in your marketing tool shed. What I'm talking about is physical newsletters. Manny, do you have an example of a physical newsletter that you could share with us? That'd be great.
Yeah, I got a couple here. This is a no BS marketing newsletter that comes out each month for gold members of GKIC. And as you can see, it's a full printed newsletter. You can also see that I've got pages marked and I've got a lot of stuff highlighted in here. Pretty much every month when this comes, I take a look at it and get lots of great insights.
So awesome. That is cool. You have another example you mentioned?
Yeah, I've got a few. So Dan's got a couple letters that he sends out. Now, these are really straightforward. They're black and white, tons of text. So you would typically think that there's nobody that's going to read all this text, but you'd be surprised. The people that do read these read them from the beginning to the end, and they are big advocates of his information. So when they get this stuff, they latch onto it, and they have boxes of years of his content.
So yeah, there's the comment from Mr. J. Owen. Thank you. Appreciate the support. Any likes are also welcomed, and any shares are also welcome. We highly appreciate your support. We're on a mission to inspire and empower business owners from across the world, so they could be doing things to help them save time and money and get results. Now, ultimately, that's why we are doing this no BS approach sort of marketing share. We wrote this book, Amplify Your Business, The Rockstar Professional's Guide to Marketing Success, which in a moment I'm going to share with you how you can get a free chapter of this book. There's a lot of great tools and resources in it. But we saw that there are a lot of business owners that will see other big brands, right? And they'll see what big brands are doing, and they'll try to copy in line. They'll look on their TV, they'll look on their social media channel, they'll look in the magazine, and they'll see what other brands are doing, and they'll try to follow suit. But there's a challenge with that because brands have money to spend. I've worked in the advertising agency. I tell you what, some brands can really spend some money, and they don't always do it with the direct response mindset. Manny, could you give me a little more insights to what direct response is all about?
Sure. As Kenny was mentioning, most people do a lot of branding, which is getting visibility. But with direct response, there's some key components that make it direct response. And one of those is that it has to have an offer. So most people put a lot of information out there, but there's no offer, there's no next step. So you got to make sure that whatever you're putting out there has that call to action, making sure that your prospect has something that they can do.
Excellent. So that is an important one that you definitely want to be thinking of. It seems pretty straightforward, but it's very very common that people will put out an ad. I see it all the time. People will put out an ad. It looks nice, has a picture on it. Maybe it has their website, but it just goes to the homepage of the website. And on the homepage of the website, they just talk a little bit about what they do. There's no call to action. It's not really a strategy. And that's really what we're looking to help do, is connect with rising rockstar professionals and business owners who are amplified, are looking to amplify to the next level. And we do offer a breakthrough session. You can go to rockmyimage.com/breakthrough to learn more about that, gain some free resources, and learn about how you can amplify your business with a direct response approach. And let's see, we have a comment coming in from Nicholas Cage. Now that's cool. Nicholas Cage, great to see you guys. Thanks, Nick, for your chiming in and shining your message to us. We appreciate that. It's great to see. And if you're just tuning in now and you have something to add to the conversation, or you have any questions that you'd like to ask, please feel free to chat it in. We do appreciate any thumbs up, any likes, and definitely any shares, because we're on a mission. Now, Manny Torres.
A cool face pop up on the screen there.
All right, yeah. So we're getting ready to go down, and we talked about newsletters, and we're saying physical newsletters, and there's a difference. You have your e-newsletter, which we said you should do this, right? You got to do some sort of e-newsletter, but a physical newsletter. Why a physical newsletter? Isn't that outdated?
Well, it's funny. A lot of people want to say print's dead and that it's outdated, but you'll find the ones that are putting the money and effort into doing those newsletters, they're getting a lot more mileage off those newsletters. We mentioned Dan Kennedy. He's been doing this over 25 years, and it continues to do it because it works. One thing that you see a lot of times when the economy goes up and down, you'll see people pull out of marketing. And when they see someone that stops doing advertising or print, people start to wonder, is that business still around? Well, when you have something like this that you're spending money and time into creating, people see that, and they see that you're investing in your business, and they see you as a business that's secure. So I think that really builds a lot of trust and goodwill in those people that you're communicating with.
So I think there's an extra benefit too. Sometimes cheap marketing will get cheap clients. And one thing that's cool about sending a newsletter is people who are actually investing in reading and will read and digest. Those typically to be better customers and clients in general.
Right.
In fact, that's one of the reasons we wrote this book, Amplify Your Business, because we wanted to share some of the foundations about what businesses typically miss when they're starting their marketing efforts. If you don't have this foundation set, anything else you're going to put on top of it, any tactics, you could definitely be missing the boat because you don't have a solid foundation of what is making your business truly unique and why people should do business with you versus other people. So we have this book, we send this book to other people, and they read it, they understand about us, and then that's an opportunity for us to win and earn business. Now, if you'd like a free chapter of this book, you can go to amplifyyourbusiness.rocks, and you can download a free chapter of this book. It's amplifyyourbusiness.rocks. And now, I brought up the book, but not everyone has a book, and that's why a newsletter can be very handy. A newsletter is also very handy too, because a book is pretty static, and if somebody already has the book, you can't send them the book each quarter or each month. So being able to send something that's fresh and sharing information about your company is very important. So let's start off with going over some of the secrets that people don't really realize about newsletters. And we'll start off with secret number one, that tell them what else you do. It seems pretty obvious, but I've been in business, in multiple businesses over the past decade, and it doesn't cease to fail that there always is someone that I'll connect with, and they'll tell me, hey, I just got this new thing. I just did this new exercise. I just went to this new workshop and gained marketing strategies, right? I just had this new website built and gained all this different stuff. I'm like, that's great. I could have helped you with that. And then sometimes we get that feedback. I didn't even know you offered that. I didn't even know you did that. Because that wasn't the first way that you connected with them, right? So there could be things that you can help people with that they don't even know. And they may not even know ever unless you tell them. It would be a bad assumption to say, everyone knows exactly what I do, and they know exactly all the different ways that I could help them. So Manny Torres, would you like to weigh into this conversation?
Yeah, it's funny, you and I were talking about that this week. I was in BNI for 6 years, and each week, for those of you who are familiar with BNI, you're standing up, giving a sales manager presentation where you're telling people what to look for. And it never failed that even though I would each week be coaching this team on the types of business that I'd like to do, I would still come across people not knowing something that I did. And it goes back to Kenny's point. People have a lot of different agendas, things that they're paying attention to. And unless you repeatedly remind people of what you're doing, what you're looking for, it's easy for them to get distracted and miss it. So you have to take as many opportunities as you can to really spell it out, and not only spell it out, but have that call to action to get them to take the next step.
So don't take it for granted that everyone is thinking about you all the time, that you're on everyone's mind, that everyone knows all the different things you can do and all the different ways that you can help them. So at Rock My Image, we have a lot of different things that we help with people. And it's a challenge for us. I admit, it's a little bit of a challenge for us. And we've taken the time to build an empire. We've got things that we can help people out for, the book, which is why we're offering free chapter. We're glad to give this information away. If there's do-it-yourselfers out there, we have meetings and membership sites that we can help people get the resources they need to do things themselves. We also do things with people. We are certified magnetic marketing advisors, and we host events, workshops, and also do business coaching so we can actually work with people and their teams to help them get the results they want in their business. And we also offer done-for-you services, your traditional marketing services, web design, digital marketing, content marketing, lead generation, all those different things. And I'm sharing that with you because, that's a broad spectrum. Now, I want you to think for a moment what you're doing in your business right now and all the different things that you offer your customers, potential customers, and then do they know that? What are you doing to keep top of mind and letting them and reminding them about all the different things you can do and all the value that you provide? So think about that for your own business. And when you're thinking about that, consider taking a time and actually implementing this strategy that we're talking about today in your own business and actually trying to send your own newsletter. Now we have a question coming in from Alan Frazier. Alan, great to have you with us. Thanks for tuning in.
Alan.
We have a question. Does sending printed material work for generating video work for people looking to produce videos? Yes, yes, yes. The answer is yes. Now, that's a good question you ask, Alan, because we are more marketing professionals, online marketing, and so some people may think this, you have to be in marketing for this marketing strategies to work, and that's not the case. These marketing strategies are going to work for all different types of businesses, and there's actually, we have some case studies in our group with people that work in the trades, people that work with customer service, people that work in the realtors, in the financial space. So the bigger thing, Alan, is you need a strategy. And actually, if you want, shared it with you earlier, if you wanted to pick out a breakthrough session, we have a breakthrough sessions. We're offering a limited amount of these breakthrough sessions each month. And because we have a mission, we're on a mission right now. It's in our book, our Amplified Mission, to inspire and empower 100,000 entrepreneurs across the country. And so we're offering for select businesses to apply to get this breakthrough session. And we're actually going to feature case studies of these sessions in our upcoming book. So don't delay. Take advantage of that. It's going to be really great for you. And Manny Torres, would you like to weigh in on that question Alan had?
Yeah, definitely. Alan, just to give you an example, I've been at events. Kenny and I go to a lot of events. And one of the cool things that I've seen that may help you out is when someone like you, or I don't know if you videotape or do video work for events, but I've been to events where the videographer that was capturing the footage for the event had a postcard that was given out to all the attendees, because a lot of times people go to events and they say, wow, I should be videotaping my event. And that person was smart enough to have a postcard there with his information and say, do you have an event coming up? I'm looking to book new accounts for upcoming events. So it's a great way, that people that go to events are more likely to run events. So there's a great lead opportunity for you there with a printed marketing piece.
So printed marketing pieces definitely work, and newsletters definitely can work for generating a business in any type of profession. And secret number 2 about newsletters, if you're tuning in, you're thinking, I would like to increase my customer lifetime value. I would like to attract more clients and generate more conversions. Then implement this strategy. Because if we're just telling you these things and you're not implementing them, it's really not going to provide value. If you implement it, it will work. Secret number 2, tell them what's new. So your business is evolving. Businesses change rapidly, especially in the marketing world. If you're doing online marketing or social media marketing or anything of that nature, things change. If you're in the financial space, things change, right? If you're in real estate, things change. If you're in the legal, things change. Health and professionals, things change. Things change all the time. Whether it's the products and services you offer or trends in the market or just things that are hot. So we need to think about that. We know this information because we're tuned into our industry, but do your customers know? So Manny, what's one thing that you'd like to weigh in on things new?
Yeah. So I think it can go 2 ways. It can go with new things that you're doing in your business. So again, educating people on what you're doing, but also, as you were mentioning, trends. Recently, my financial advisor investment management group, when the economy took a dip at the beginning of the year, everybody started to freak out because they thought, the bubble's bursting, here it comes, what am I going to do? So they actually did some trainings where people came into their office, which is great. But the chance that everybody can make it to that office is probably slim. But if they had a newsletter where they could communicate some of that information of what's changed, what to look for, and how to approach it, that means they get a larger portion of their client base that they can communicate with, and they can make sure that they're all understanding what to do and what the next steps are.
Very important, and it's something to consider. As people are busy, they have their email boxes being flooded. All these social media messages are just going so much if you're not putting a spend to your social media message, most times people aren't even seeing it. A few handfuls of people may see it, but most people won't see it unless you're putting a marketing spend to it. So if you're going to have to put a marketing spend to something, you can put it in a really saturated spot, or you could try putting it where it's less saturated. So consider that, and getting it in people's hands really makes a difference. So we're going into secret number 3 for newsletters, and hey, this is a kind of it's a tricky one. It's not about you,
Right.
and I say it's tricky because you're sending a newsletter and you want to kind of talk about your products and your services, right? But I think it's just a matter of framing. Because if you're framing it about, hey, these are things that we did in our company, these are all the great things we have, we're the greatest, we're the best, here's all the stuff you can buy from us, then it's really focused on what's in it for you and all you, but it's not really focused on what's in it for your potential customer or your customer.
Right.
And that makes a big difference.
Yeah, definitely. I was talking with my wife last night, and she's in health and wellness, and she talks about a newsletter that they send out internally at her company. And she was talking to one of their employees that had a great success story. And she said, can I share this on the newsletter? And of course, that person's excited because they feel like they've done something great, and now other people are going to know about it. And it's something that really helps people feel great, and it shows appreciation, and then it's a win-win for everyone. So that's a way that you can utilize this newsletter so that you're showing appreciation, you're getting visibility for that person that may be your client, which is added value for them, and everybody's excited about it and they enjoy seeing themselves in the newsletter.
So that's awesome, Manny. Just bumped my camera all around. But earthquake! Oh my God, I'm in California. What's going on? Actually, I'll be in California later this year doing a pretty cool focus group event. But right now, I'm talking about ways and strategies you should implement in your newsletter, and how this can help you with any business to stay top of mind and let people know how to elevate and do things for themselves. And why it's important to not just be thinking e-newsletter, but physical newsletter. Now, if you're just tuning in, we appreciate any likes, appreciate any comments. If you have any comments you'd like to add into the conversation, or if you have any questions, we'll be glad to take questions as well. And we definitely always appreciate shares. So thank you for sharing by getting this message to other people that will help them as well. That's a way you can give back too. So now it's not all about you. It's about the people that you're serving, and being able to highlight and share and showcase other people is great. In fact, that's what we're doing with some of the Ask the Experts of Influence interviews that we're doing. We're actually highlighting some other people, some of our clients, their successes, some of the things that they've been able to do and achieve. And we're doing that in a win-win so that they can realize that the people who are tuning in can realize that they can do those things too, and that's how we help people. So that's really a way to do that win-win. I mean, it looks like you're getting ready to share something.
Yeah, I wanted to jump in here. I was flipping through this newsletter that I've got by Sean Buck. He actually does the Newsletter Pro. So if you don't know how to do it yourself and you want some help, he's a great person to go to. But in his newsletter, he's got a success story, and that's none other than Mr. Wally Conway, Mr. Inspector Pro himself from Home Pro Inspections, getting a feature as a success story. So that's an example of how you can make it about somebody else and really highlight individuals that you're doing business with. So that was pretty cool to flip through and see Mr. Wally. Hopefully Wally will see this. But Sean Buck's a great guy with Newsletter Pro. So if that's something that you need to do, but you need help with, he's someone that can help you out.
Oh, and definitely. So now, secret number 4, recognize the real estate, the expensive real estate. So we're talking about, the back page or the different parts of your physical newsletter. If you're going to bother mailing something to somebody, it's important to think about the real estate that you're sending. You have an opportunity to do something on the different parts of the newsletter. Now, you may not want to write all the content. Sometimes it could be a photo that that shares something. Photos can tell a lot. Sometimes it could be a graphic or a call to action that really stands out and gets someone's attention. But you want to make sure that you're leveraging the different parts of the newsletter and the real estate, because every little thing that you're putting in there can either be adding value or taking away. So really consider that.
Yeah, as Dan Kennedy says, imagine that your mail is being opened over a trash can. So you got about 3 seconds there, maybe less than that, for someone to take a look at what you've sent and determine whether or not they're going to put it on the I'm going to open it up pile, or it's going straight into the trash can. So you don't want to just have a blank slate there. You don't just want to have your return address. You want to have a quick little tidbit that teases them about what's inside and why it's important to them.
All right, so that's one other thing I'd like to touch base on. We're talking no BS. We're cutting out the clutter, and it's really about being no BS in a sense. Not putting a lot of fluffy spin on things and giving people what they are wanting. And a lot of times people are either wanting value, they're wanting information, depending on who you are as a professional. You want to give them information, but they also want it in an entertaining way. Something that's not just so vanilla that they're seeing it from everyone else. I know some people who are really bad at this, and I pick on them all the time. I love them. Realtors, they're very common to be putting out information about homes and home advice, which is not bad, because if you're a realtor, that's probably what you should be putting out there, is advice about buying homes and selling homes, right? But you don't want to be putting it out so vanilla that you're not sharing a little bit of personality, you're not making it interesting, and you're not making it where people want to read it. Because like as Manny said, if people get your newsletter or your email or see your social media feed and it's generic and it looks like what everyone else is saying and it doesn't have a pulse to it, it's not entertaining, then people will tune out. It's just the way it is. Think about it. How many people watch the drama and the celebrity TV shows? A lot of people, right? Then how many people watch very informative training shows on TV? I don't know of any, really. And that's kind of the point. So you want to think about creating a newsletter that's going to get the information out there. And just giving a little recap, we talked about, secret number 1 was tell them what else you do. So letting them know all the different things you do, you can make that interesting. But don't make it just about, sales. Make it to where you're telling people and you're giving them value. Number 2, tell them what's new. You got to keep them informed. You got to keep them inspired to do things and take action. You can tell stories. You can do case studies. But you want to make sure that you're telling people the things that are new in your business. You want to make sure that you're not always talking about yourself. It's not about you. It's about the people you serve. We try to create content here and on these shows. So thank you very much for the likes and support. We appreciate that. And if you're having questions, definitely chime in now. Now would be the time to chime in because we are taking some questions and we are taking comments. But if you do have, thanks, Alan. Appreciate that, buddy. So tell them what's new so they're knowing, because they're not tuned into your industry like you are, but don't do it in such a way that you're going to bore the crap out of them. Give them something that's interesting. You can get some guest people. Come on, Manny. Tell us a joke.
Tell you a joke. Well, I want to tell you a story because
that's better.
Stories.
I think you're probably going to bomb the joke with no prep.
Joke teller. But you touched on the word stories a couple times in there, and our good friend Mark Vickers always says stories tell, stories sell. So if you can tell that story and share more about yourself, there's going to be a connection, and it's those dog whispers that make someone really want to do business with you. My father has a background in knitting manufacturing, and he used to send out calendars every year. And he was also a classic car aficionado. He would rebuild cars. So every year he would do a calendar with classic cars. And if he ever missed someone or sent it a little bit late, he would be getting phone calls at his office right away because people wanted that calendar because there were other people that are also big into automobiles, and that was the extra connection that they had. And it's a story that he would tell and that would connect those people. And they would be doing business with them, not just because of the knitting machines, but also because they both had a love for automobiles.
That's great. So thinking about stories, that's a great way to relate to people, make it interesting, entertaining, and more memorable.
Right.
That's it right there. We tell stories. Tell stories of our experiences. I must say that it was, for me, when I first heard about sending newsletters, physical newsletters, I kind of rolled my eyes because this was a few years back and social media was on the rise. And I'm like, newsletters. Who would want a newsletter? But what's funny? I started to connect with other professionals in different industries who were actually using who are actually using newsletters for their business, and they're telling me the successes it had, how it cut through the clutter, and how they would get responses from each newsletter. And it was one of the most effective marketing tools. And I started to realize, hey, this is something to consider. Now I'm actually subscribed to a couple newsletters, and I read them regularly. And we've began to roll out newsletters for our company, and we work with others to create strategies so that they can do it effectively for their business. There's a way to do this, and there's a way to waste your money. Taking action is one of the most important things. Because again, if you hear these ideas, you say, that was kind of interesting. I thought what Kenny and Manny said today was kind of interesting, but you don't try it, you don't implement it, then it could be all for naught. So we're encouraging you to take a shot, and I'm going to share one more link real quick. We're getting ready to run out of time, so if you have any questions, now would be the time to tune in. And even if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and chat them in, because we do have a Ask the Experts call that we do on a monthly basis where we answer all questions that are asked to us. And so we're glad to do that. If you have something that you want to ask, go ahead and chat that in. But now is the time to say that our call to action. So I mentioned earlier that Manny and I at Rock My Image, we are certified magnetic marketing advisors. And we work with business professionals to help them amplify their business. Now we have this new process. It's Amplified Business Breakthrough, where we'll spend some time with you, talk about your business, and we'll uncover 10K of hidden revenue in your business in 45 minutes or less, guaranteed. We'll also share with you some marketing strategies that you can immediately implement in your business. And you may be asking, why would you be doing this? Well, number one, it's part of our mission. And number two, we know that, like Zig Ziglar says, if you give enough people what they want, you'll naturally get the things that you want. And so we know that by providing massive value to people, that's how we gain business. So whether that's directly, if you'd want to work with us directly to implement some of these ideas, or if you know someone else and you said, Kenny and Manny are great, they provided me a lot of great value, you've got to take this business breakout session. They only offer a few a month. So go to this link and apply for your session. And then when they do that, it's a win-win-win. Everyone wins. And again, that's how we gain business. This is a no BS. We're talking, that's how we gain business, is being able to share value, massive value to people, give them ideas that will actually generate into revenue and get real results. And then word of mouth takes care of the rest. So if you're interested in doing that, take advantage of it now. We have a new month right now, and there's a few slots available. So we do want to make sure that if you're looking to do that, you do take action. Don't sit there and procrastinate or be the people who are just sitting on the sidelines watching everyone else grow their business. Take action. Manny Torres, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the book, The One Thing, and you had mentioned the word implement and action several times. And one of the philosophies on The One Thing is, what is one thing that I can do to make everything else easier or unnecessary? So taking that first small step is one of those things that you can do, and just, don't wait until later. Just go ahead and do it, and then take the next small step. And it's all about just getting that momentum building so that you get some velocity. So take action.
All right. So thank you very much. And again, as we're ending this session, appreciate any likes. We see some likes coming in. I see all these reactions. We had Kathy, Joe Shrima, Sorry if I'm butchering the last name. Nick Racino. Hey, Nick. Alan Frazier, Louis Caceres, and Nicholas Cage. Thanks for all sharing some likes. We do appreciate seeing that feedback. We're here to serve you. We're here to provide value. And if you have any other things that you'd like to learn and see on the session, definitely comment that in. We will.
It's like Kenny got paused there, so make those comments and make sure that you're engaging with us on our Facebook channels. We look forward to chatting with you and answering your questions, and we will see you again next week. And until then, we'll talk to you later. Rock and Bold.